Hey, Astra Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Scorpio Ascendant. Before we get into this, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that I am using Vedic Sidereal astrology. So if you're coming from Western tropical astrology, this may not work for you. Make sure that you have the correct information. There's a calculator down below for your sidereal placements. Also, this is a general interpretation, so this may not resonate with you according to different yogas, aspects, and conjunctions in your chart. So let's go ahead and talk about the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed sign, so it is all about sticking to its comfort zone. It can be a very stubborn, very intense sign, very focused. Scorpio is also a water sign, so it is also a very sensitive, emotional, passionate sign. There's a lot of depth to the sign of Scorpio, and it is also a moksha sign, the water signs being all about spirituality and getting to deeper truth, enlightenment. Scorpio also is ruled over by two planets, Mars and K2, mainly by the planet Mars, but also the shadow planet K2 plays a role, which makes Scorpio a karmic sign. So there are pending karmas that are associated with the sign of Scorpio. Mars and K2 are both very intense planets. So Scorpio can be very impulsive, very direct, competitive, active. There's a lot of energy to the sign of Scorpio. It is very focused, very ambitious. Scorpio naturally is associated with the eighth house of the chart, which is all about secrets, all about digging for deeper truth, exploration, about deep research. So Scorpios are always looking for deeper meaning in life, always looking to understand the mysteries of life and death. So these are very intelligent people who want to get to what does the truth of this universe really mean. They are all about deep spirituality and truth seeking. Let's talk about the health for Scorpio. Scorpio can have issues related to the reproductive system because Scorpio rules over the reproductive system, but mainly Aries is the sign that occupies the sixth house of illnesses. So you want to be careful of head injuries, brain injuries with this position, headaches, migraines. There can be all sorts of mental disorders as well, anxieties, fears that can come up with this sign as well. Sometimes Scorpio can be just a little bit too impulsive with their actions, so be very careful of getting into accidents. So, because Scorpio rules over the first house of the chart, the main theme of a Scorpio rising's life is going to be all about seeking out deeper meaning and truth. They are all about uncovering secrets, getting to the things that are hidden in the dark and bringing it out into the light. So, Scorpios can have an interest in the occult and mysticism, astrology, deep research, in Tantra, all sorts of mysticism and magic, getting to the depth and the deeper meaning of life. Transformation tends to be a huge theme of their lives as well, going through sudden ups and downs and intense dramatic situations. A Scorpio ascendant can have the power to go through difficult situations and to transform their life for the better, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So, this tends to be a major theme for them. Of course, Scorpio also can go in the opposite direction where they can allow their experiences to affect them psychologically and can actually transform for the worse. So, very important to understand this. Scorpio also can be associated with inheritance. They can get a large amount of wealth in life. They tend to be very successful, very fortunate when it comes to abundance. And Scorpios can have an interest in all subjects that are deep into psychology, philosophy, again, mysticism, astrology with this position. They are all about just trying to get to the truth and the deeper meaning. Scorpios sometimes can also be a bit competitive and dominating. Oftentimes, Scorpio is a sign that is associated with deep fears and traumas. So, Scorpios can either become a victim to different circumstances and fears in their lives, or they can even try to instill fear into other people as well. Scorpios can find themselves into psychological battles. Their life, though, becomes all about mastering their fears and overcoming their obstacles. Again, that ability to rise from the ashes. And because Aries rules over the sixth house, a Scorpio ascendant tends to be their own worst enemy. or they attract enemies who are very physical, who are very strong with their physical body. So they may even get into physical altercations and fights with this position as well. This is something definitely to watch out for. And because Aries rules over the sixth house, Scorpio ascendants can be really into sports, into competition, into being physically active as well. Scorpio ascendants tend to thrive on challenge and difficulties. Once again, this ability to transform, to rise out of difficulties. So, Aries being the ruler over the sixth house makes them very powerful people when dealing with competitors and challenges in life. Because Sagittarius has rulership over the second house and Pisces over the fifth, Jupiter becomes a functional benefic for the chart. The stronger sign of Jupiter does have rulership over the second house, but ultimately, with Jupiter ruling the fifth house, this is a very auspicious planet for the chart. And the second house rules over wealth, and the fifth house over speculation. So, Scorpio ascendants can be very clever when it comes to speculation. They can get very lucky in terms of gaining wealth in life. Scorpio ascendants value God, religion, philosophy, higher truth. They try to seek this through their family. So they may have been raised in a family that had very strong beliefs, very strong values from a very young age. And for them, they feel that the greatest resource in life is wealth of knowledge. So they're not so much about wealth itself. They are very much knowledge seekers, truth seekers. They are trying to find that deeper meaning. They may have also traveled from a young age as well. So when they were younger, their family may have traveled to a foreign location, or there may have been a lot of travel early on. The family may have also stressed education very strongly as well, wanted the Scorpio ascendant to get a good education from a very early age also. Because Pisces has rulership over the fifth house of the chart, they may also move to a foreign land when they have a child as well, or their child may also be interested in traveling to foreign locations. Sometimes there can also be some loss related to children as well. They may have expenses that come into their lives after having their first child. Capricorn ruling over the third house and Aquarius over the fourth house. Saturn is a neutral planet for the chart because Saturn does rule the third house, which is a functional malefic house, but also Saturn having rulership over the fourth house makes it a very strong planet for the chart. So Saturn is going to give mixed results for the chart. Typically, Scorpio ascendant people have very professional and serious way of communicating. They can communicate a lot about their work life, about their career with this position. Sometimes there may also be speech related issues with Capricorn ruling over the third house. They could have limited or slow speech with this position sometimes. You want to see what is the condition of Saturn and what planets are occupying the third and second house. They may also find that with the birth of a younger sibling that their professional life takes off. This is what really makes their success become active in life. And they tend to have a very stable career life with this position also. Because Aquarius rules over the fourth house, though, there can be difficulties related to the mother and the home. This can show some karmic obstacles. Sometimes the mother is very focused towards political causes, towards large groups, organizations, trying to make the world a better place. So, mother may be very detached in the home environment. With Taurus ruling over the seventh house and Libra over the 12th house, Venus becomes a functional malefic for the chart. Scorpio ascendants can face some difficulties in relationship to their married life. Oftentimes, they attract a spouse who is very much materialistic, all about wanting to enjoy the central pleasures of life, could be a bit of a spendthrift. And for a Scorpio ascendant, they value relationships. They seek stability in relationships, but there may be some loss because of Libra ruling over the 12th house. So oftentimes there is some kind of loss, detachment, separation happening in the relationship. They may also meet a spouse who comes from a foreign background or a cultural difference can be seen as well. They may travel to foreign lands and meet a partner in foreign lands also. And for the Scorpio ascendant, they find that they are most balanced when they are in isolation, when they can have peace and quiet, can have that time to themselves to get away from it all. They may find great peace and harmony when traveling abroad, going on vacation with this position also. Gemini has rulership over the eighth house and Virgo over the 11th house. This makes Mercury a functional malefic for the chart. Scorpio ascendants can have a way of communicating about secretive or hidden subjects. Again, they can have a great love of astrology, of occult mysticism with this position. They also, though, could find themselves in emergency situations because Gemini being in this eighth house creates sudden ups and downs very quickly. And this could make them even skilled in the medical field, actually dealing with emergency situations, being able to jump in and help those in need. But they may face some ups and downs in relationship to a younger sibling with this position, and they tend to deal with obstacles in relationship to elder siblings as well. Sometimes they could also face obstacles in relationships to large groups, organizations, their friend circle. There can be some difficulties there. So, definitely, you want to be careful about the people who you are associating with. Cancer has rulership over the ninth house of the chart. So, a father figure, mentor, guru in your life may play the role of a mother. So, the father can actually take over and be that nurturing maternal figure in your life. This could also indicate that your mother becomes like a teacher, a guru to you as well. And you're very emotional about your belief systems, about the higher knowledge. This becomes extremely important to you. Again, you are all about finding deeper truth, deeper meaning in life. Leo has rulership over the 10th house of the chart. So, this definitely shows that you are someone who can get fame and recognition within society. This is an excellent position of the sun having rulership of the 10th house. This becomes an excellent functional benefic for the chart. This could also show that your fame and reputation rises with the birth of a first child. And it can show that you put a lot of your actions and focus into children, into politics, government, and career. With Cancer ruling over the ninth house of the chart and Leo over the 10th house, these tend to be the most benefic areas for a Scorpio ascendant. These are the most illuminated because Sun and Moon are the luminaries. So, your higher education, your quest for deep truth and spirituality, your love for travel, your career, all of this gets highlighted as we have the two luminaries lighting up these houses. So, let's talk about your ruling planet, Mars, in all 12 houses. Mars in the first house is in its own sign of Scorpio. This is going to form a very special yoga. This makes you a highly competitive, determined, driven person. You are full of passion and ambition, and you are someone who cannot sit still. You are always thinking on achieving your goals, getting tasks completed. You're a very active and determined person. If Mars has gone into the second house of the chart, this could help you with building wealth. You could become very wealthy with this position. You're determined to gain security and wealth with Mars in this second house. Sometimes this could show a tumultuous early childhood experience, though, but ultimately you are determined to make this situation better. You want to rise out of that childhood experience and to seek out success and achievement in life. This can also make you a very adventurous person. You may travel from a young age. There may be some kind of separation where you want to get away from the family. You want to see how is Mars positioned here, but you love to travel, you love to explore, and you are extremely determined to be successful. Mars in the third house is a powerful position. Mars is already Karaka for the third house, showing the strength, the courage, the self initiative. But now Mars is also exalted in the sign of Capricorn. This is a very dynamic placement. You are someone who is driven, courageous, determined. You are always driving ahead towards success. And you are a very courageous person. You can be outspoken even with this position, with this being the house of communication. You have very strong opinions and you are not afraid to express this. This could, though, create obstacles in relationship to a younger sibling because sometimes you could get into quarrels and conflicts with your siblings. This definitely, though, makes you a very adventurous person. You want to travel, you want to explore, and you are also hungry to learn and gather information. Mars in the fourth house. This is a very interesting position. Mars feels very uncomfortable to be here. This fourth house is where Mars loses its directional strength. And Mars in Aquarius feels very uncomfortable, very lost with this position. This definitely shows there can be some conflict related to the home environment, conflict with the mother. And there could be a feeling early on of negativity, of anger, conflict within the home that is something that definitely needs to be addressed. But this ultimately makes you someone who wants to protect the home environment, who wants to make the home a secure place. And this could also give you good fortune in terms of dealing with real estate and property as well. Mars in the fifth house. This is going to be placed in the sign of Pisces. So you are a highly intelligent person. You're very philosophical, very spiritual minded. You want to understand the deeper truth, the deeper meaning of life. You can think outside of the box with this placement. And you may also be skilled in engineering. You may get into a technical field with this placement. This could also make you someone who loves to have fun, especially through physical activity. You could be an athletic person with this placement as well. You could also do very well in real estate. You could do well in stock market investments for some of you. You want to see how is Mars positioned in this placement. Also, though, Mars here could create obstacles in relationship with children, or it could just mean that you have a child who's very physical, very active. Your child could be an athlete, could be someone who always wants to be on the move. Mars in the sixth house has gone into the sign of Aries. This is definitely going to make you a competitive person. You're driven and you love to be physical. You love to take on challenges. But most of all, you like to serve people. You like to be of help to others. You could do very well in the medical field and healing professions with this placement. You want to protect the rights of others, to fight for others, to really help out those in need. One thing you want to be careful of, though, is your health, because this could make you a little impulsive, where you could get yourself into accidents. So sometimes a little bit of patience and caution is needed. This could also create conflict sometimes with coworkers, people you work with, people who work under you. For some of you, there can be conflicts, arguments popping up in this area as well. Mars in the seventh house is a very interesting position of Mars. This is definitely going to make you geared towards relationships. And you are someone who doesn't really like a lot of conflict. You like to get along with people, to be friendly, to be negotiable with this placement. Sometimes, though, you have to deal with conflict within relationships and marriage, and this can be very difficult. This can drain a lot of your energy dealing with conflicts within the marriage. This can give a spouse who is a little bit passive aggressive or combative as well. This is definitely a placement where you want to be careful of putting so much of your energy into relationships and to really make sure that you're able to focus on your own needs, your own hobbies, your own interests. This becomes extremely important. If Mars has gone into the eighth house of the chart, then you are definitely going to want to get to the truth, to get to the bottom of everything. This is going to make you very interested towards deep research, towards wanting to understand the mysteries of life. And this could be in a scientific way, or this could be into mysticism, occult with this placement, but you really want to get to the deeper meaning of life. This could give excellent results in psychology as well. You're a very mysterious person, very intense, very deep person. You are someone who is very strong and courageous as well. You can come back from difficult situations. This also is going to give a great interest in life and death scenarios. What happens after we die? What are the deeper meanings of life and afterlife? This comes very strongly to you. Sometimes with this placement, your emotions could be very intense, very deep. There could be some trauma related to this. And you also want to be careful of getting into scandals. But sometimes this placement could also give abuse. So there's a need to be very careful about the company you keep, the people who you get involved with, and being very careful about getting into secretive situations. If Mars has gone into the ninth house of the chart, then this is definitely going to make you a very emotional person. You are passionate about your belief systems. This is something that is very strong and important to you. You could be hypersensitive sometimes to other people, especially if they challenge your belief systems. And this could sometimes even give obstacles in relationship to a father figure, teacher. They could be a little bit aggressive with this placement, especially passive aggressive or trying to put on a front as if they are stronger than they truly are. So there's some conflict that is coming into this, but you're very passionate about your studies, very passionate about wanting to find deeper truth and deeper meaning. This could also make you a very adventurous person. You want to travel, you want to explore foreign places. If Mars has gone into the 10th house of the chart, then definitely you are a highly ambitious person. Mars has gone into the sign of Leo here. So you want to be in a position of leadership. This can make you an excellent leader, an excellent business owner. You could be self employed with this position. This could take you into performing arts as well. But you're a highly ambitious, success oriented person. Sometimes this could give conflicts, though, if you're working under an authority figure. So you could get into conflicts, arguments with the boss sometimes, which could make this better for working on your own. If Mars has gone into the 11th house of the chart, then you are definitely a researcher. You want to analyze and get to the bottom of everything. Sometimes, though, this could make you very critical. And this is where you could run into conflicts with other people. Sometimes you can be too critical when dealing with other people, which may create conflicts and discord in your friendships and social networks. You want to be very careful of this. And you can get into all sorts of arguments, conflicts with this placement over different belief systems, different ideologies with this placement. This could also make you very determined to fight for the rights of others, to do some good in the world as well. And you could also have some obstacles in relationship to an elder sibling for some of you also. If Mars has gone back into the 12th house, this is a very interesting position of Mars. Definitely, this means that you are someone who likes to create peace and harmony. You don't really want to deal with conflicts. You could be an enterprising business person, but you may be doing business behind the scenes or in relationship to foreign locations or large institutions. This could give an excellent results in the medical field as well, where you're helping and serving other people. Hospitals, jails, schools, institutes, you could work in these environments also. One of the difficulties with Mars in the 12th house, though, is that you could have some emotional issues that you're suppressing and holding on to. So you could hold on to the past, to past regret, to trauma, hardships from the past that need to be released and resolved. So sometimes this position is really good for psychotherapy for some of you, for hypnosis, for finding ways where you can deal with trauma that is kept deep within, because this can create emotional issues where sometimes you could even explode and lose control within your relationships. This could also make you a very active person where you love to be on the go, you love to travel. This could even get you into any sort of martial arts, physical activity. You could be interested in running, being on the move, because 12th house also rules the feet. So let's talk about the different nakshatras that fall under the sign of Scorpio, starting off with Vishaka. And we talked about Vishaka in our previous video of Libra because mainly it was in the sign of Libra. But in the first 3 degrees, 20 minutes is the last pada of Vishaka. And this is a very emotional part of Vishaka. This is all about security, all about nourishment when it comes into this fourth pada. And definitely it makes you very intense about your belief systems. You could be a very spiritual person, a spiritual seeker coming into this fourth pada of Vishaka. But Vishaka rising in your chart could make you interested in wanting to live a very materially oriented life. You want to do everything big. You want to have the best things, the finer things in life. You do everything with full devotion, full passion, and intensity. And you could be a food lover with this position and someone who's very skilled at cooking also. Sometimes there's a need to manage emotions, though, because there can be dramatic ups and downs and emotions. There could be a little bit of a duality to your personality where you could behave one way and then behave another. This definitely is a position, though, that can get you into spirituality, into deep beliefs, into finding deeper truth in life. Sometimes there could also be a theme of twins in your life, whether you yourself are a twin, someone else is a twin. This could occasionally pop up for some of you. But a lot of the time, there are issues with abandonment or difficult relationships within the family. Sometimes this position could give you a love of alcohol as well. But definitely with this position, you want to be cautious of overindulgence because Vishaka loves to do everything on a large scale. This could get you into creativity, into filmmaking, but mainly on the Scorpio side, I've seen that this could get you into justice, into wanting to create fairness in the world, into politics, government can be seen for sure. So, if you have Anuradha rising, then you're a very friendly person. You love to present yourself to others in a very friendly and approachable way. You love to connect with other people, and you are all about intimacy and relationships. You may have a relationship that didn't work from the past, though, but you always hold that relationship very dear to your heart. And you are someone who's very skilled in the business world as well, especially with deal making, negotiation, and you could even get involved with foreign dealings as well. You could travel to do deal making with this position. This could definitely get you interested in astrology, occult, mysticism, deep research with this placement as well. And you're very eccentric. You like to think outside of the box. You are a natural visionary. You want to think ahead into the future, and you don't like to hold on to ideologies from the past that are too dogmatic and controlling. You could also have an interest in Greek and Persian culture, whether it's meeting people, traveling there, trying out food from these areas as well. You're a very sensual person, very romantic, very flirtatious. Intimacy and relationships become something that's extremely important to you. This could also show that you rise in the second half of life. Oftentimes, Anuradha people have humble beginnings or difficulties early on, but they have the strength to overcome those challenges and to rise to success no matter what their circumstances are. If you have Jeshta rising, this is a very intense position. You could have a little bit of a playful or devious side to you sometimes where you like to instigate, where you like to see other people fight. This could also make you interested in martial arts and fighting as well. You could be a very physically active person. You're very in tune with your physical body. This could give you a love of spicy foods. This could get you interested in the horror genre, into all sorts of deep, mysterious subjects. You love to get to the truth, to dig for answers. You could be a conspiracy theorist with this placement as well. You also could do very well with wealth. You could be very skilled in finances, and you could be very clever with finding loopholes as well. Sometimes you want to be careful about coming across as too manipulative and controlling. Sometimes you have an issue with abandonment and you want to hold on to the people you care about, but this can come off as very overbearing and controlling at times. Definitely, you could deal with jealousy, with obsessiveness with this placement as well. So it's very important to keep your emotions under control. You could also have connections with the military. So someone in your family could have a military background, or you yourself could have interest in military, police, and anything that has to do with law enforcement, fighting with this position. And you are someone who's extremely independent. You take on an elder position in your family. Even if you are the youngest sibling, you like to play that role of being the eldest. On more of a mundane level, you could also seek truth through spy, detective work, investigation. You could do well in these fields as well. So, the most auspicious dashas for a Scorpio ascendant tend to be the moon, sun, and Jupiter. And especially the moon and sun are extremely auspicious. The moon, especially, could get you into traveling, into movement, change of location, And this could also be a time where you are very close with your father. It could be a time where you're seeking out deeper meaning, deeper truth, philosophy in life. But of course, you want to see what is the condition of the moon in the chart. This will tell you so much more about the dasha. The sun dasha is often a time of gaining the respect and admiration of people in authority. You could gain promotion at this time. You could reach high positions in your career. This can be an excellent time for getting noticed and gaining success. The Jupiter Dasha also tends to be a time where you could be very lucky in terms of gaining wealth. With this position, you could be lucky in all sorts of forms of speculation, but really, the Jupiter Dasha can take you deeper into your studies, into spiritual studies, ancient knowledge, getting deeper into truth at this time. Again, you want to see what is the condition of all of these planets to understand their true influence in the chart. Venus and Mercury tend to be the most challenging dasha periods. Venus can definitely bring some challenges in the area of relationships, and Mercury can bring ups and downs in your wealth. So sometimes there is a need to be cautious with wealth at this time when you go through the Mercury dasha. Mars and Saturn tend to give neutral results. So Mars is definitely going to make you strong and powerful as your ascendant lord. You could be very physical, very much on the move, getting involved in all sorts of physical activity, enterprising, ambitious at this time. But also, you could find that you get into accidents, conflicts, arguments. This could come up as well. You want to see what is the condition of Mars in the chart. Saturn tends to be a time that helps you to achieve great success. You have to put in a tremendous amount of work and effort, but you can do very well during the Saturn dasha. At the same time, though, you want to be careful about getting into conflicts and difficulties at this time. Rahu and Ketu are always going to be the most unpredictable dashas. Ketu, because it has rulership over your first house as co lord, can also make you very physical, very active, very much about wanting to be on the go at this time. But you want to see what is the condition of Ketu, of course. For example, if Ketu is in the sign of Aries, then you want to check to see the position of Mars to understand that dasha more clearly. The Rahu dasha in general, though, tends to be the most confusing because it can give you so many different ambitions, desires, different things to focus on. It can create a lot of confusion and restlessness within the mind. Ketu also tends to be a dasha where you're cutting off things from your past, letting go, having to surrender for some of you as well. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you like this, feel free to leave a like. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.